Hey, today we're gonna pot some orchids and I'll show you how we do it. So let's start with the smallest one. We're gonna just push this out, throw it out. And I watered these before, so I'm gonna take all this moss out. And what's good with this moss is that you don't need to water your orchids as often. It keeps them moist, but the other problem is that it might also, if you water them too often, it rots all these roots. And when it's blooming, I don't want to touch them. So this is done, the blooming, and we got it cleaned pretty well of this old material. So we're gonna cut all these roots out. But it has good roots coming. Here is green growth. But this is an orchid potting mix. And I like this better than the moss, because this keeps the roots drier. There, we put this one there. And what is good with these clear pots, plastic pots, is that you can see the roots and you can see if there's enough water or not. So this is just the basic orchid growth or orchid mix. I need to fertilize these. See, now you can see the roots. I'm sure it's gonna be happy. What I usually do, I will put them in a nicer pot, the ones that are clear. Okay, let's take the next one. And this one, you can see that it has really good roots. You don't need to pot them a whole lot of bigger container, but this one like this, it's just so small that it doesn't have any space to grow the roots. And I think I said earlier that we don't repot our orchids when they are blooming. We repot them after blooming. Okay, now this moss is starting to come out. Okay, we're almost there. And you can really see how good these roots are. So we don't need to cut much anything out. There is one. And here's another one. Ooh. We have one big one here. And this one I'm gonna put in a clay pot. And this is really an orchid pot, because you can see it has the holes, and the roots can grow out from the pot. And then we start putting this in. I can leave that root out, and so that it's good to have the air roots also. They don't need to be all in a pot, but of course we need some of them in the pot, otherwise it doesn't stay there. Just try to get some of it in there. And it's okay this part to be a little bit higher, because we don't want to wet this part, especially in here. So now you're going to ask me why, when you have the orchids in, they will get their rainwater in them. Yeah, that's true. But they usually, if they hang, for example, from the trees, they usually hang so that the water doesn't stay there. We're gonna dump all this old material. We don't want to use it anymore. First of all, if something has a disease in this potting mix, then it will go to other orchids if you repot something in the old material. And then sometimes they have these tiny little things, but I'll take it out. So we can those orchids grow freely. There's not really much to cut. There's one bad one and one. This one is all dry. And now let's put some material in this one. And personally, I like the other type of potting mix, the one with everything in it. It has the what do I say, fertilizers and everything. I actually got this from my neighbor, so I'm just gonna use it. It will be fine. As I said, I just will fertilize it. Oops. Okay, it looks pretty sturdy. So now we have 3 orchids potted, and I'm gonna show you how you can take care of your orchids. So these roots, you can actually spray with the spray bottle. Of course, this doesn't work now. So they get their water like that. And after we potted these, I'm just gonna wipe them with wet paper. A little more water in this paper. So orchids are also like this. They take some of that water through their leaves. And actually this way we can also clean the orchid leaves of all the dirt and dust. And they look a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer. And sometimes you might have yellow leaves at the bottom. If it's on the bottom, it's okay. That's how the orchids get rid of the old stuff, and then they bring another leaf from the, like this one has this little leaf coming up there. Okay, so the easiest way to water is just to let the water run through. Oops, now I wasn't careful enough. I have to clean this one. You don't want any water in the middle of the orchid, because what it does, it will start rotting the leaves. So watering, letting the water run through, and when you're done, you can lift your orchids out from the water, put them somewhere to dry before you put them in a nicer pot, like that. So then, after it has after the watering, you can lift it first somewhere to get rid of all the water, but it's still wet. So then I can put it in this nice pot. Like I said about this looking through pot, you can see when they need water. These ones I like because when you are watering, because it's clay pot, it dries easier. So it when it dries faster, it's hard to over water them. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Give me comments and ask questions, like and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye bye.